Other things that I really like about New Orleans is, or about the South in general, is that you could do so many things around here. Like, for example, I've been to swamp tours, so I've seen live alligators in the wild. I've been to New Orleans Saints game, so American football game. I've been to Pelicans game, so there's a lot of sports you could go to and see here in New Orleans. I also really love the museum, the World War II museum, which is like the National World War II Museum of United States. And I've also been to a plantation, to the Whitney plantations more specifically. So I have learned a lot about local history during the times of the slavery and before the Civil War and during the Civil War. So it was pretty interesting for me also because I'm very interested in the history of North America.
Right.
And I think that New Orleans, with its really rich history of being Spanish, French, then English, then American, I think that it's one of the best places where to really dig deep into the history of the whole country. You could experience almost everything in one place, which I think it's pretty unique for New Orleans. You cannot experience it anywhere else, I would say.
Anywhere that just really stuck with you?
I would say the French Quarter in general, because of all the historical buildings that are there, but also there's a lot of pubs, a lot of bars where you could just hang out with your friends. I think that most of the time when I'm going to the city, I'm just going to the French Quarter. It's somehow similar to go to the city and go to the French Quarter for me here in New Orleans. So that's probably the place where it's most identified with, like, going to New Orleans,
Right.
with the French Quarter.
How are you liking being at UNO?
It's kind of different from my experience back in Czech Republic. There's way more reading for every class, and we also have to do something every single week, which is not the rule back in Czech Republic. Sometimes you don't even have to show up at your classes, and you just have a huge exam at the end. And here you are working throughout the semester, and then the final exam is not that important. So it's quite different style than back in Europe, where you just are doing almost nothing until the finals, and then you have to commit yourself for the exam really, really hard.
Have you met anyone else from Czech Republic here?
No, not yet. I've met Anna, who's working at the international office. She's from Poland, which is probably the closest for me. And one of the German girls, I think her grandfather is Czech, so that's the closest I got to Czech person. She has a Czech last name, at least, but she doesn't speak Czech. So yeah, I haven't met anybody. Originally there should have been two of us from Prague, but I don't know why the other student didn't come. I was pretty nervous because there's more of us Czech students all around the United States, but I'm the only one who's here alone. Everybody else is in the pair, with some other Czech student. So yeah, it was, at first it was pretty scary for me, but thankfully two of my roommates are from Germany, and we are neighbors back in Europe, so I know a lot of Germans. And they took me as a part of their German group, and I do speak German, so it was pretty easy to fall into the group and be part of the group. So my fear from the beginning was really, really quickly gone because of those other international students. And also everybody here, the professors, are really nice. They are very helpful. Whenever I needed something, they definitely wanted to help me. And also my classmates are really helpful whenever I need something. So it was pretty good really fast. But yeah, I was pretty scared at first.
Would you suggest that people from back home come to New Orleans and experience it?
Definitely, because I would actually say that New Orleans is culturally maybe closer to Czech Republic than other places, because people here eat unhealthy, and it's very Czech thing. We have very unhealthy cuisine, and people here like to have a good time. They don't want to stress about anything, and I think that's very Czech way to do things. And also there are no megapolis, no huge cities here, because Prague has only 1 million citizens, so it's not that big. So I think that for Czech people it would be really good here, except the weather, because it's really humid here and really hot, and I was suffering the whole first month here, and now it reversed and I'm suffering because of the AC. Like, not because of the weather, but because of the AC. I'm suffering a lot.
So it's safe to say that's your least favorite part about
Yeah,
New Orleans.
it's AC, definitely. Like, I don't know what is it with you Americans that you could survive it. Like, I'm sick for almost 1 month continuously. Like, every time I get better, I get sick again because of the AC. I don't understand this, actually.
What are you wanting to do with your future, and does it involve maybe coming back?
I would like to work for the Department of State. In Czech Republic we call it the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I already did my internship there during my studies back in Czech Republic, and when I come back in December I will start my internship at the Ministry of Defense in January, I think. So that's probably something I would love to work, like in the working for the state at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Defense. And I would love to specialize on the United States, so maybe one day being an ambassador in the United States, that would be pretty good.